Hey gamers, this is Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, and today I'm going to be reviewing Pavlov's House, designed by David Thompson and published by Davidson Games. In Pavlov's House, you are Russians who are defending a fortified apartment building during the Battle of Stalingrad, and your job is to hold your position until basically you run out of German cards. You have to survive several waves of attacks and challenges in order to win the game, which is extremely difficult. Each of your turns is going to proceed from the right-hand side of the board to the middle to the left. And you, as the Russians, are going to be controlling these two sides, with the Germans interfering with you in the middle. Over here on the right, you're going to be playing the 62nd Army. And what that means is that you're providing support for the men who are trapped over here in Pavlov's house. So that can mean a number of things. So you can be trying to get supplies across the river. So you gather supplies here, including things like food and artillery and med kits, and then you have to build a flotilla to get it all across and into the house. You have to place anti-aircraft because there will be German aircraft that are coming to try to destroy all of your little outposts over here. You can set up artillery and work with people in the house in order to destroy German soldiers and tanks that are coming towards Pavlov's house. And you can try to increase your communication lines in order to allow yourself to play extra resources on a given turn. So each turn on the side, you're going to get 4 cards, but you only get to use 3 of the cards, and you only get to use 1 action or resource on each of those 3. So you're making all these really difficult choices because you really need everything that's on the cards, but you have to budget out what you need right now and try to build up in order to actually do the support role that you need to do. When you come to the middle, you're actually going to be controlling the Germans at this point. So these are multiple little German pathways coming towards Pavlov's house, which is right here in the middle of this board. So here's the inside, but you can see like the little tiny apartment building in the middle. So on the German turn, it's controlled by this very simple AI where you're just drawing cards and doing what the cards say. So those cards can tell you to do a number of different things. For example, you might have the Germans attack the building, so based on what color, they could attack one of these sides of Pavlov's house. You might have scouts, so you place soldiers on the board, and if they reach the middle, then Pavlov's house is taken by the Germans and you lose. Or you can have aircraft attacks that come and they bomb this side of the board and mess up all the plans that you're making over here to support Pavlov's house on this side. Then during the Pavlov's house phase of the game, you're going to be budgeting resources and budgeting the energy of soldiers in the house in order to fend off Germans, keep your fortifications high, feed everyone, and radio for more support. So your goal over here is to just do sort of a tactical defense thing in order to keep the Germans at bay until you reach the end of the German deck. Basically, all the results in the game are decided by 6-sided dice, so that's how you determine, where you're going to be attacked from. It's how you determine whether you're going to hit when you fire a weapon. Different soldiers roll different numbers of dice, so your odds of getting a success change depending on who you're using. So there's a lot of luck involved, but you're also trying to position everyone as intelligently as you possibly can by looking at the board state and constantly reacting to that. I want to start off by saying that I think that Pavlov's house is excellent. There is a lot of tension and drama in the game, and it just really pulls you in from the very beginning of the game all the way until you either make it through the end, which is rare, or die early, which is still pretty exciting. I think what makes the game so tense is that you are constantly fighting yourself about wanting multiple things and only being able to do a very few of them. So if you want to focus on getting food into Pavlov's house, that means that you might not put out as many anti-aircraft tokens as you think you might need to, and trust me, you need a lot of anti-aircraft tokens. Or if you're not spending a lot of time removing German interference and damage from the 62nd Army side of the board, you can accidentally end up really stuck and without enough options. But you also want to be actually taking actions that are going to help the people in Pavlov's house, because that's the point of the game. And within Pavlov's house itself, you're still making really tough decisions because you have to decide, where are you going to focus your attention? Are you going to try to repair the house? Are you just going to concentrate on trying to shoot Germans? What soldiers are you going to get? Because some of them are more expensive but more powerful, or you need to get multiple soldiers to power certain types of weapons. The other thing is that getting multiple soldiers in the house is a risk because you have to be able to feed them. If you can't, they're going to starve. And then if you have soldiers starve, you have to decide who starves, which is pretty brutal. Overall, all these decisions really give each game a storyline and make it very strong. And it's just something I've really found as an enduring thing that I enjoy about this game over the course of having it in my collection for a while now. As a solo player, I also really appreciate how simple the German AI is to run. You are pulling cards off of a deck and doing what they say, and it's just kind of low upkeep, which I really like in a solo game. At the same time, it's still very challenging, so you don't feel like you're just pulling a card and it didn't do anything that mattered to you in the moment. Every single thing that comes off of that deck is going to be something that really impacts you and your game, and you're going to feel tense every single time you flip a card. And for me, that is just peak tense storytelling solo gaming. The other thing I particularly love about this game is just the amount of historical research and thought that went into it. David Thompson actually published a whole booklet about Pavlov's house that discusses some of the things that he found when he was doing research for this game. And I love that he really went in depth, that he made an effort to really try to find out who was actually in the house, to find images of them or people that we think might be them from historical photographs, to look at Russian propaganda, but also at firsthand accounts of what happened there. It's just really neat combination of historical research and board game, and how you can turn things that you know into this really exciting gaming experience. One thing that may turn you off about Pavlov's house, depending on the type of gamer you are, is that it is very lucky, and there's just no way around it. Because most of your successes and failures in the game are determined by the roll of a six-sided die or a set of them, if you roll badly enough times, it's really going to impact your gameplay. And that's just a reality of the game. Sometimes you're going to roll badly. Sometimes you're going to draw a bunch of bad German cards in a row that are just particularly damaging to you. Sometimes you won't get the resource cards that you really need during the 60-second army turn, and so you won't be able to complete the moves that you wanted to in support of Pavlov's house. So if that's the sort of thing that drives you crazy, then it's possible that Pavlov's house isn't a perfect match for you. All of that said, Pavlov's house really does it for me. The combination of extremely tense, emergent storytelling from trying to defend that apartment building under desperate circumstances, combined with the fact that it's based on real historical events, so you can really get attached to what's happening there, is like catnip for me. It's addictive, and it's everything that I want in a really exciting, dramatic solo experience. So for me, Pavlov's house is going to be a 9 out of 10, and I give it the Dice Tower seal of excellence. Thanks so much for watching, and happy gaming.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.